In scattered locations across North America, Europe, and Western Asia, a thin, mysterious layer of metal lies buried beneath the Earth. It's a layer rich in platinum, and in many of these sites, it dates back to roughly the same moment in time, 12,800 years ago. This isn't just a geological curiosity. For a growing number of scientists, it's the fingerprint of a killer. This nearly invisible seam in our planet's soil may be the clue that cracks a global cold case, a cosmic crime scene nearly 13 millennia old. It points to a day when the sky fell, fire rained down, and the world plunged into a 1,000-year winter, hiding a dark secret right beneath our feet. To understand what might have happened, you have to imagine the world 12,900 years ago. The last great ice age was finally drawing to a close. The colossal ice sheets that had locked up much of the northern hemisphere were in retreat. The climate was warming, life was thriving, and giant mammals, the Pleistocene megafauna, roamed the land. Herds of woolly mammoths, mastodons, and giant sloths were abundant. And they weren't alone. Humans were there to see it all. In North America, the Clovis people, a sophisticated and successful culture of big-game hunters, had spread across the continent. For them, it must have felt like the dawn of a new, warmer age. And then, in a geological blink of an eye, it all went wrong. The warming trend didn't just stop, it violently reversed. Temperatures in the northern hemisphere plummeted by as much as 10 degrees Celsius, or 18 degrees Fahrenheit, in some places within a matter of a few years. Glaciers that had been melting began to advance again. This sudden, brutal cold snap is known as the Younger Dryas. It was a 1,000-year winter that came out of nowhere with catastrophic effects. In just one generation, the world changed. The ecosystems that supported the great beasts collapsed. A wave of extinction swept across North America, wiping out dozens of large mammal species forever, including mammoths, mastodons, and saber-toothed cats. And the humans who hunted them. The distinct Clovis culture seems to vanish from the archaeological record at the very same time. It's as if it was erased. For decades, scientists were baffled. What could trigger such a rapid and devastating climate catastrophe? What was the murder weapon? The first major clue in this prehistoric mystery didn't come from the ice, but from the soil, that razor-thin layer of platinum. Platinum is incredibly rare in Earth's crust, but common in extraterrestrial objects like comets and asteroids. When geologists started finding this platinum anomaly at dozens of sites, they realized it was significant. It was a consistent signal, a chemical fingerprint left by an apparently wide-ranging event. Across multiple continents, researchers kept finding the same evidence, always dating to around 12,800 years ago, the start of the Younger Dryas. For proponents of the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, this was the smoking gun. Something from space had arrived. But for years, critics of this idea pointed to a major missing piece. If this layer came from such a massive event, where was it in the oceans? For a long time, there was no answer. Now, there is. Recent expeditions have drilled into the seabed deep in Baffin Bay near Greenland, and in pristine sediment cores, they found it. The same platinum spike, the same telltale signature of a cosmic visitor, preserved in the mud of the ocean floor. This discovery strengthened the idea that it wasn't just a continental event, but something much larger. The platinum layer reopened the case, and once investigators knew what to look for, the supporting evidence began to pile up. The theory suggests it wasn't just a single impact, but a scenario of widespread devastation, and the forensic proof is compelling. First, there are signs of unimaginable heat.
In the same 12,800-year-old layer, scientists found enormous quantities of microscopic debris, like tiny glass spheres called microspherules, material melted and flash-frozen in the air. They found nanodiamonds, forged by ultra-high-pressure shock waves, and more recently, shocked quartz, sand grains with microscopic fractures, indicative of a hypervelocity impact. These materials are the geological equivalent of shrapnel. But the heat didn't just melt sand, it may have set the planet on fire. Along with the platinum and nanodiamonds, this boundary layer is filled with soot and charcoal. Some researchers estimate that up to 10% of the Earth's land surface may have burned. While controversial, continental-scale wildfires could have injected a thick pall of smoke into the atmosphere, blocking the sun and helping to kickstart the impact winter that followed.
For a long time, the leading theory for the Younger Dryas cooling was more terrestrial. It held that as the North American ice sheets melted, a gigantic glacial lake, Lake Agassiz, burst its banks, dumping immense volumes of fresh water into the North Atlantic. This flood would have shut down the ocean currents that carry warm water north, plunging the hemisphere into a deep freeze. And for years, the biggest question from skeptics of the impact hypothesis was simple. Where is the crater? A single, large asteroid impact, like the one that killed the dinosaurs, should have left a massive scar. For the Younger Dryas, no crater of the right age has been confirmed. By the way, if you want to know more about the largest comet identified in our solar system, click the card above. Returning to this video's content, let's try to answer the questions about the possible, as yet unfound, craters. The evidence has led researchers to a more complex and more frightening answer. The culprit probably wasn't a single asteroid. The most accepted theory now is that Earth passed through a dense debris stream from a large disintegrating comet. Instead of a single impact, the planet may have been peppered with thousands of fragments exploding in the upper atmosphere in powerful air bursts. These explosions would produce exactly the evidence found, microspherules, nanodiamonds, and platinum dust, without creating a single giant crater. And what about the meltwater flood? The impact hypothesis doesn't necessarily replace that theory. It may, in fact, complete it. What better trigger to destabilize a massive ice sheet and cause a catastrophic flood than a series of powerful impacts directly on top of it? The impact could have caused the meltwater pulse, creating a cosmic 1-2 punch that sent the climate into chaos. So where does that leave us? While the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis is still controversial and the debate is far from over, a stunning storyline begins to take shape when you put all the pieces together. It suggests the Younger Dryas wasn't a slow, natural process, but a sudden, space-borne catastrophe. Imagine the scene. 12,800 years ago, a swarm of cometary fragments descends on Earth. Massive fireballs streak across the sky, exploding in the upper atmosphere with incredible force. Shock waves and heat ignite forests and grasslands. A rain of exotic materials falls, platinum, molten glass, and nanodiamonds, blanketing parts of the planet in a thin layer of extraterrestrial dust. The heat and shock waves over the Laurentide ice sheet may have caused it to rupture, unleashing a biblical flood into the Atlantic and disrupting the planet's climate. Proponents argue that only the impact hypothesis connects the platinum anomaly, the nanodiamonds, the evidence of widespread fires, the Megafauna extinction, the disappearance of the Clovis culture, and the sudden glaciation into a single coherent narrative. The story of the Younger Dryas is a chilling reminder that we live in a cosmic shooting gallery. The stability we take for granted is not guaranteed. Our planet's history is punctuated by transformative events that can come from beyond our world. This wasn't just another ice age.
If the hypothesis is correct, it was a defining moment that reshaped life on Earth and may have reset the course of human history. Without this event, would mammoths have survived? Could it have even been a catalyst, forcing human survivors to adapt and innovate? Some speculate it may have helped spur the agricultural revolution that followed. The layer of platinum buried in the Earth doesn't just hold a dark secret about a prehistoric catastrophe, it serves as a warning. It shows that our history is intimately linked to the heavens, and that the evidence of past worlds is still out there, waiting in the soil and the deep-sea mud to be discovered. This cold case isn't completely closed. It's a story still being pieced together, one grain of platinum at a time. If you're also fascinated by the enigmas of our planet and the cosmos, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any future investigations. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and comment below what you think. Was it a comet or something else? We love reading your theories. And share this with a friend who also loves a good cosmic mystery. See you next time.